Good morning. It's Saturday, June 20th, 2026. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. I have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about real quick. First of all, this class is focused on students, what the students should pay attention to. As soon as we finish this class, I'm going to teach another class. This is the teacher's class. And I'm going to focus on the same exercise except from the perspective of the teacher. In today's classes, I have put them both together. I was going to teach the student class yesterday, and I've gotten backed up with something else that I'm working on, and I decided that I was going to try and work on that, finish it. I wanted to get it done. Didn't happen. It didn't happen. I got work done, but I have more to do. And so I had to think through, I said, well, all right, what am I doing this? What am I doing? How am I going to do? And I decided that I would teach both of the classes, both of the Qigong sessions today. That way I will be caught up for these classes anyway. And I will have the philosophy class on Sunday as planned. The effort that I'm making in working on the stories, and I'm doing a live reading on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. You're welcome to pull up the channel and watch, listen. The reading is a book that I wrote. It's called The Ambassador. It is about martial arts. There's quite a bit of martial arts lore, and the characters in the story also are, they embody the 5 elements of Xing Chuan: metal, water, wood, fire, earth. That connection is something that I preserved throughout the books. It's a series of 8 books. There's quite a bit of philosophical references, teachings in the martial arts, as well as general discussion, I guess, if you characters talk about it, of character development and how we build character. That connection is fundamental for all of the martial arts. In teaching the arts, there are certain types of people that we don't particularly want to teach. Bullies, braggarts, people who want to hurt other people. I'm not going to teach them. I'm not going to intentionally teach anybody like that. People who are interested in learning for their own self-aggrandizement. They want to, hey, I did this, and hey, I did, ha, ha, ha. No. Somebody walks in and say, have you practiced a little bit? Yeah, I did a little bit. If we get into the conversation, they'll find out that my little bit of practice has been 40 years. So there's that sense of perspective is absolutely something that we want to develop, that we want to build. In today's class, we're going to cover the 5th set. Excuse me, I apologize, I have something in the throat. I'll be right back. I should probably have brought this in with me earlier, but I didn't. There now. I have a table there. You can't see it. In I'm trying to think of the Chinese name. Toliangong. We're here. Turtle and dragon playing in the water is what we're going to do. This set is set 5 in our Qigong series. And what we have been doing with sets 1 through 4 is used, it's used, and we pay attention much more to the connection through the spine and the body as the spine and the waist as we turn the body, so that we're more energetic. That's a feature of Wudang Qigong, is it's not stationary practice that only uses the internal circulation. We have this. I'm practicing several things right now. You can't see them. But like you can't see the table. Right? That inner circulation is what we want to develop in Qigong. And in Wudang Qigong in particular, we use the outer movements to help develop that internal circulation. In set 5, right? We start out and then push up. As I push up, I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to extending through the whole body. So it's not just my arms going up, the whole body lifts. You saw that as I started to do the move, my heels came up. We don't want that. We don't want the heels to come up. But that lift, we do want. As I push up, the connection between the laogong in the center of the palms, the upper dantian, and the heels to be grounded. The Yongchuan pulls up, press up. Both hands turn and connect with each other. Turn to the left, turn to the right, and back to the left, and back to the right, and center. As we go through that set, at the very beginning, this left, right, I'm going to turn around and do this. I'm here, turn to the left, turn to the right, turn to the left, turn to the right, and come back to center. This is not left, right, left, right, left, right. It's a turn. That circle is one of the most important things in this set. For a beginning student, the effort will be through the arms to push up. Okay, that's just my arms. Arms going up. There we go. No, it goes through the whole body. The arms are the last part, right? So as I stretch up, I'm still stretching through the lower body. I want to keep my feet well grounded, right? Keep connected. But as I press up, all of this pulls in and up, so the torso feels lifted, the legs feel as though there's almost nothing, almost nothing that they have to support. So the body is well supported through itself, not weighted over the legs. As we turn the waist, think more about turning out. I'm going to turn around. We're going to do this just a minute. Think more about turning the waist than side. Turn to the left, turn to the right. It's a wheel. Think about that waist as a wheel, not I'm on the left side and I'm going to go to the right side, and I'm on the left side now. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Turn. In paying attention to the physical movements and the turning, we want to also pay close attention to the upper and lower connection. That was set 3 and set 4, that we paid attention to this rising and lowering. We want to use that now. As we turn, we're lowering. So it's not up here. Yeah, we sink. Keep going. Yes, it does go pretty much all the way down. Not entirely, but close enough. That sense of rising as we push up and lowering and sinking as we spiral to go down is part of what we want to pay attention to. That is quite a lot, right? I just gave quite a lot. If you've never seen this before, you've got some experience with the first 2 exercises, you've never seen this one before. I just gave you a lot. Understanding that makes a difference for a beginning student. It makes a difference for reminders for someone who's practiced for a bit. Because if we don't acknowledge what we're doing, that, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to pay attention to. We can misinterpret. Oh, that's nothing. I can do that. Maybe. I would venture probably not. But sure. For a beginner, no. There's more to this exercise, actually. And that's why I stopped. If I keep going, and I will in the teacher's class, I'll go along a little bit further in the teacher's class. If I keep going, a beginning student isn't going to learn anything. They're going to learn that, oh wow, that teacher can keep going. That's not what I want anybody to take away from any of my classes, that I can keep going. I can. It's not the point. In doing the exercise, being able to pay attention to 3 or 4 key points is what we want. As we progress, as we develop the skills, that we don't have to pay attention to this, we don't have to pay attention to that, because we've integrated it into our practice. Then we can add more. In set 5, pay attention to bending through the knees as we sink and we settle. Pay attention to keeping the back open and straight, especially through the center of the lower back. Keep this open. Feet about shoulder width apart. Toes grip just a little bit. Settle through the heels. Knees are bent just slightly. No, just slightly. Relax through the upper back. Relax through the abdomen. Pull up through the center. Pull up through the crown of the head. Straighten the neck spine. Relax the shoulders. Breathe in. Stay there. Breathe out. Now, palms up, all along both sides in the front. Breathe in. Settle down. Sink. Palms turn over. Press down. Keep the back straight. Open the hips. And breathe in. Straighten. Palms up. Sink. Palms turn over. Press up. And turn. Turn the waist. And again. And center. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Relax through the back. 2 more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Relax through the legs. Use the legs. Use the waist. Keep the hands connected. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Push up. And turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Center. Breathe in. Palms up. Press down. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Cycling the breath gives us a base, gives us a baseline to work with. It also sets us up for regular breathing that will contribute to what we're doing in the exercise. So, preparation, stand here, breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. In that one cycle, I relaxed my body. I opened several of the channels and meridians. I adjusted my balance and my waist so that my waist is open and my hips are open. My shoulders were already open for the exercise especially, so that was all right. That kind of checklist is something that I keep. I carry it with me. It doesn't go anywhere. When I first started studying, I wrote it down. Yes, I did need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Here's my notes. Here's my notes. Here's my notes. Gradually, I developed more notes. I have a lot of notes. I also internalized a lot of that. So those checklists are part of what I do almost without thinking about it. I still have to think about it. It's not that I don't get to think about it. I still have to. But I don't have to pay detailed attention in developing our practice. And I'm going to do this one more time on face front. In developing practice, part of what we want to do is that internalization of those checklists, of the preparation, so that we get to the point where we're not so much going through one by one as we are, is this okay? Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, good. That's it. Okay, I just did 3 things. I checked my right leg. I checked my right hip, opened the Mingmen in the lower back, and readjusted my left hip. Just a little. That little bit makes a difference. As we learn more, it becomes easier and easier to overlook the foundations and the fundamentals. I'm going to do this fancy stuff over here. Yeah, I'm going to go do fancy stuff. If the fundamentals aren't present, the fancy stuff won't have any substance. It might look fancy, and it'll last a minute, maybe. What we want is that longer term development as we build our practice. It's not, I'm going to do this today and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a little bit today. I'm going to do a little bit tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit the next day. I'm going to do a little bit. We build that up over time. As we build that practice, we integrate all of the things that we should do. I should have my feet about shoulder width apart. I do this a lot. It's natural for me. This is a little too close. This is about right. This is a good horse stance. We know where we should be. And we're there. That development takes practice. We have to start somewhere. I need to get to a point where I feel comfortable standing with my feet about shoulder width apart. Well, I have to do that, don't I? If I'm going to get comfortable with it, I have to do it. Practice. If I'm going to get comfortable with this turning through the waist, practice. The more we pay attention to what we should do in practice, the more those principles, those movements, those concepts become integrated with what we're doing, so we don't have to think about them quite so much anymore. At the beginning, I'm just do this one time. At the beginning, here, breathe in, breathe out, palms up, palms down. Breathe in, sink, turn over, press up, breathe out and breathe in, breathe out, and start again, right? My focus at the beginning is on turning the waist, rising and lowering, right? Paying attention to connecting the breath as I breathe in, as I breathe out. those connections through the body and turns through the whole body are what I should be paying attention to. A more advanced student should be paying a lot more attention to what's going on with the spine and considerably more attention to pulling up through the torso and opening the hip so that that rising and lowering can be extended. Advanced student, paying attention to the connection between the centers and the palms, the upper Tantien, middle Tantien, and the lower Tantien. Upper Tantien, middle Tantien, and return to the lower Tantien. Circle here. I'm going to do it this way. This is a circle, right? That side to side, it's a circle. All right, 2 more times. I'm going to face front, and I'm going to go ahead and start to the left side. I want it to be visible from the front, what I'm doing, and then, so I'm going to do this 2 times from the front, and then I'm going to turn around and we'll do 4 sets with me facing the other direction. Feet about shoulder width apart, wiggle the toes, smile, palms up, breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in, check the back, and breathe out, push up, and turn, circle, 3, 4, 5. And breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in and separate. Breathe out, down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. Developing that habit. Returning to that 1, 2 cycles, 2 after the set normally. Returning to that cycle of the breath is important to restore where we were. So in a lot of the names of the forms, we have the beginning, and then we have the return to the beginning. We have the restoring the form. We start at one place, wherever it is we start, and then we go through a process and we get to the beginning. We get to the end of the process and we close. That closing is what we're doing with that breath cycle. 2 more times. Pay attention to the left side, right side. Pay attention to the cycle of the breath and breathe in, palms up. Breathe out, press down. Breathe in, palms up. Sink, breathe out, press up. And turn, breathe. Center, and come on up again. 1, breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Press down. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, I said 4 and I did 2. So it's my day. I'll do 4 in the teacher's class in a little bit, okay? The normal practice is a set of 6. So we would do press up, 1, 2, 3, that's 1, 6 of those and close, and then another set of 6 possible. In traditional practice, nobody was in a hurry. What else you got to do today? You got something else you need to do? No, not really. Okay, so I'm gonna go have breakfast in a little bit. That's it. In today's world, that's not true. We try to figure out how we can arrange schedules, what we can do, how we can manage things. In practicing these sets, one of the advantages is that it's not time consuming. You practice all 18 sets all in one sitting, that can take an hour or so. But if you practice one set, few minutes, relax the mind, relax the body, build the internal energy, build the internal strength, build the internal chi. Not bad. It's not something that has to take special equipment. It's not something that has to be done at a particular location. You want somewhere quiet, but other than that, no. Those 2 things, that I don't need any special equipment, I just need to know how. And that I'm not restricted by any place. As long as I can find someplace quiet, I can go practice. Those 2 things are also part of what has kept me practicing all these years. I didn't have to pay a gym fee. I didn't have to pay a membership fee. I didn't have to pay every month. I need to pay for this. No. I've paid, but I didn't. That was why I wanted to learn, because I didn't want that limitation. I didn't want to say, well, I have to go to this particular workout place in order to do my workout. I need a floor space. That's it. In practice, especially at the beginning, removing those limitations. You don't need to have this, you don't need to have that to go practice, is important. We need to know. Student needs to know. The only limitation in your practice is you. The way to arrange practice, time, place, go there. Developing that habit is what will carry practice forward. If you remove all of the limitations and don't create your own environment, how will you help yourself when you feel like, well, yeah, I don't really want to practice right now? Even a corner of the room with a couple of books. A corner of the room, a couple of books, old shoes. If this arrangement here, I've had these for a long time, but just this little bit of arrangement here would remind me, would be enough. And that would help to carry my practice forward. I come in and I say, well, I read some books and I did get some artwork and I got some pictures and things. Yeah, all right, okay, I can practice now. Prompts are good. They're good for you. In my studies, going to the park in the morning was something that I will always remember. It was something that, well, everybody did it back then, but for me, it wasn't something that I had experienced. I did, but it was new at one time. And I remember trying to sort out how much of this is culture, how much of this is the art form, how much of this is just the people that are doing it. I never did get that sorted out. It's hard to separate. It's very hard to separate. The internalization that I'm talking about, taking your practice inside. I didn't have to think about it. Just did it. That skill is what we want to start with. Bend the knees. Relax, right? That ability is the beginning. It's not the end. I'm going to stop here with the students class. I will be back in just a little bit, actually, with a teacher's class for this same set. And philosophy class this week on Sunday. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye.